Alright, so I'm going to do a little update video here. I should say, like, when you're updating a car or something, this isn't necessarily a layout update. I do this with 99% of the rolling stock I purchase. But anyways, we're going to do couplers today. So, I use Kadee semi-scale couplers with whiskers. So, it looks something like this. It's got the spring on the side. There's no plastic tab like the McHenry couplers have. Not that they don't work, but I've found that these work a lot better for me. I even do swap out from the Kadees or proto couplers that Walthers and other companies use. It's not that they don't work, they work just fine. It's just I prefer the scaled down semi-scale version. So you can see a little bit of a difference, and the biggest difference is on the profile. See if I can roll them both up. This isn't working out for me. I need a different job. Okay. So you can see here there's a little bit of a difference in the profile of the couplers. The one on the right is what comes on most equipment that has metal couplers and is the same size as the couplers that come on most equipment with the McHenrys. Athen has gone to a plastic McHenry coupler that's semi-scale, and while it looks a little better than the chunkier ones, like the one on the right, it doesn't always perform the best. I mean, the plastic's thin, it's malleable. It tends to warp or bend down after sitting for a while or after heavy use. And so I go with the semi-scale for the look and the functionality. Now, if you notice, if I can flip these both over, these things are tiny and I've got meat hooks. Now if you look, they're actually about the same height. So overall, there isn't too much change in functionality. There's a little bit of a difference, but not much. So you're really not losing anything by using these. You're gaining looks, which is really what they're for. So if I gotta change out the couplers anyways, this is the first thing I put in. These cars are getting done last because they already have metal couplers. And eventually these will get semi-scale metal wheels. But back to the topic of discussion. I really enjoy these couplers. They look great, they work great, and I'd say at least 85% of my rolling stock has them. At least 99% of my active rolling stock does. Everything else that kind of, I want to say falls to the wayside, but I think that's the ugly truth, is it's just sitting in boxes. May have these, and a very, very slim 1% might have the plastic couplers, whether the semi-scale or otherwise. So let's get down to it. Changing out these couplers. Yep. So, a couple of things. Some of these, I don't know if this is just a weird batch I got, or if this is the norm now. I've never had to do this until recently. And I'm possibly getting into using magnets on the track. So it's really important that the trip pins are set properly. So instead of waiting to do the NMRA height gauge when it's already on the car, this is a lot easier just to give it a little bit of a bend now. And you just want to bend it a little bit, okay? So there's with the bend, and there's without the bend. You can see a good difference there. So this thing's going to pick more of what's being run over, what you're going over, grade crossings, whatever, than this will. This is almost guaranteed to go over anything, and we can always adjust that once it's on the car. But this car has airline hoses on it, and I really don't want to screw those up. And it's just easier to do it with, when it's outside of the car, because the pliers bend with the coupler. So you have to be aware of that, otherwise you might break your coupler pocket, or strip threads out of the pocket, or who knows what. So it's just easier to do it now. There. So the non-scale couplers I put in this little bin, and I give them to my dad or another friend who's upgrading their rolling stock from plastic couplers, and it's a good step up. A lot of people aren't into semi-scale couplers. It's unnecessary. It's an added expense. It's one I gladly choose. So here's the original coupler and the spring, whatever, to keep it centered, the centering spring. And what's nice is instead of it being in the pocket where the coupler comes out first and you gotta dig this baby out, I've been seeing more and more stuff coming from China where it's got the pocket on top of the coupler. At least when the car is flipped over and you're doing work on it. So then we'll put the coupler in. Gently set the pocket on there. I try to hold the pocket with the screw in it over, and I just gently make sure that it's threaded in already. And then, yeah, the screwdriver pops over, but I'm just making sure I'm not over torquing and stripping the threads. I'm going to pause the video while I go through and clean up these trucks. I'm still going through these cars. These are troublesome cars for me. They have a lot of derails on a club layout, which has track work from various hands, and these just don't like to cooperate. I don't know if it's the detail parts on the bottom here. They've got these pieces down here for the brake equipment, for the cylinders and whatnot, that don't necessarily need to be there. You don't see them. I mean, neither do most of the details on the bottom side of a freight car, but I like it anyways. This is truck detail, just doesn't do it for me. So I'm going to pop these out, clean them up, and we'll be right back. Alright, so I got the coupler in there, put the truck back on after I ream the, or tune the journals a little bit. It's something I do on these cars. It gives the wheel a little more play aside from just the truck, because just like a car, you've got your axles and your wheels, and if your wheels can rebound a little bit and take some of the hit, it takes a lot of load off the suspension, or it takes some load off the suspension, and just it's a quicker reaction, less work and worry you have to worry about with other components. So here we'll put it up. As you can see, it meets up with the coupler. You get a nice travel with that trip pin coming over, and it's about right with the coupler height. It's not too worrisome, but because we're here and I'm anal, I'm going to go ahead and adjust it, and I'll show you how we do that in just a moment. Alright, so unfortunately I don't have any of the little red washes that I need to fix this. They're sitting in my other toolbox at another location, a place far, far away that I'm not willing to drive to while I'm trying to make a quick little video. So I'll do this next time. I've got more cars to work on. But I'll kind of show you quick what you can do to add that washer. All you have to do is remove the truck. On some bolsters, it's got a little part that comes out that the truck rests around and on, and you can slide the washer on that. Otherwise you may have to drill the washer out slightly to get it to fit. But on these models, it would easily fit right on top of that, and then all you have to do is put the truck on top, make sure the washer doesn't get between the screw and the hole, and screw it back in. So, like I said, it's just one thing I don't happen to have on me. I know where it is. It's in my junk drawer with other tools that I don't normally keep on hand. It's not something I'm normally doing or normally need, but it's something that you'll want to keep with you if you start doing stuff. You really don't need more tools than what I have here, but I do have an access to different tools for different purposes. But I'm going to go ahead, keep going with some of these cars here. I got a few more I can do today, and then I'll have another video coming out soon. I'm going to do some DCC work with an NCE system, programming two different kinds of lash ships, the new and the old style. If anyone has any questions or anything else they'd like to see on that, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to do something for you. I'm also relatively familiar with the Digitrack system, specifically the Empire Builder, and a little more familiar with the Zephyr system. I've had two of those and one Empire Builder. So if you guys have any questions on that, let me know. If you want me to talk about the differences and why I'm with NCE now, I'd be happy to do that. But until next time, take care.